Watch 'em run away, I got none. I'll be standing on my own, never gonna take my throne. I got no rival. Watch 'em run away, I got no, I got no rival. Tell me now, what you gonna do? We can do this face to face. The reckoning is coming real soon. Doesn't matter what you say. Try to tell you this is my moment. Can't take mine 'cause I own it. Don't you know that I locked and unloaded? You're out of focus. Get ready for the fallout. Can't stop me now. I got no rival. I'ma fight my way through the blood and pain game of survival. Any time or place, watch 'em run away. I got no. I'll be safe.
They have done it! They're the Frost Esports Champions!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Frost Esports presented by Hot Pockets Frostborn Last Chance Qualifier. I'm Cat Knitter. That's Mirror Man. A pleasure to be with you guys tonight. We're going through the top 8 Mirror Man, and it's going to be a good one.
I'm hoping for some good sets here. Obviously, this tournament's the big last chance qualifier for the $3,000 tournament we're going to be seeing tomorrow. Where we've seen a good amount of the teams that have qualified so far with some of the other matches that have been played today. And right now we're waiting on some of the losers bracket to be finished up so we can see all the teams that are going to be qualifying and joining everyone else that's already been invited or qualified for tomorrow. And we're also going to be seeing who's going to actually come out on top today.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we know for a fact it's just the top 8 qualifying through. So the rest of the way, we're playing for prizing and we're playing for seeding, which is going to be so important going into tomorrow, of course. So we already know qualified through for sure. Uzi and Archangel, Fowls and Mr. Aura, Mohawk and Quirky, and Clinster and Kiwi Zombie. So some fantastic teams already making it through. Mirror Man, anyone that you got an eye on maybe to take this thing all the way to the finals?
So going into this tournament, right, I was surprised when I haven't been keeping up too much as of recently on some of like the big teams that have been making names for themselves in some of the recent tournaments. But Mohawk and Quirky, in the one set I got to see them play earlier, they super surprised me. I knew they were a good team. They're rocking the Morty Steven comp. We're going to be seeing quite a few of both those characters represented so far in this top 8. They had probably the most dominant top 8 qualifier match of any of the matches played so far this tournament. They are super in sync with each other. They have Quirky on the Morty trying to control the ground basically the entire game. Mohawk on Steven playing a bit more aerial, throwing out Steven's nair, Steven's shields, try to protect his teammate a little bit, that kind of thing. And I was just very surprised with how good their play was when I saw them play earlier. I think they are in a good spot to win the tournament. And also on the other side of winners, I think Uzi and Archangel are also some potentially strong players to take the tournament, rocking the Superman Black Adam comp. Black Adam has the ability that there's a lot of characters in the game that struggle with a lot of the double zoner comps that are floating around as of recently. Black Adam happens to be very strong against those characters. He can set up a bubble on the field that can prevent zoning from going through it. He can hit down attack from anywhere on stage to threaten people no matter where they're standing, which can threaten zoners from the other side of the stage. Right. And it basically... But just by existing, Black Adam can force people into situations they're uncomfortable with. And I think that kind of strength could potentially lead to them taking the tournament as well.
For sure. I think that stage control too plays so nicely into having Superman as a partner on that team. I mean, saw a little bit of their gameplay from your broadcast earlier, the first part of bracket, and the way they use that Black Adam just to control so much space in neutral, and then compare that with Superman, who's really just getting in there and finishing stocks, is so clean. The way that these teams have come together is so nice. And I really enjoy where this patch is right now. The fact that so many different team comps feel viable. I think we definitely have seen patches where that's not always the case. I think we've slowly started to phase out Wonder Woman's. It feels very nice to see teams get to do what they want to do with these matchups.
This patch in particular has been very notable for that kind of thing. Like, in singles, you could say a lot of characters have always been pretty viable, even if they're worse than other characters. But in doubles in a lot of tournaments, you kind of see 4 to 6 of the same characters kind of floating around in most top 8s. And it's like always like the most viable ones. This patch brought a lot of characters back into the limelight in particular. We see a lot more Steven this patch. We see a lot more Morty this patch. We see a lot more Agent Smith this patch. Agent Smith has never really been that notable of a tournament character. Tamanukuro TK had like one good Agent Smith result pretty early on when Agent Smith got released, but since then he kind of hasn't really done much. But we see him pretty frequently now, which it's just pretty cool to see, to shakeups to the meta.
Yeah, I mentioned this matchup will be interesting. Let's jump into it if we may. Production, we got Mohawk and Q-Quirky up first against Clinster and Kiwi Zombie. Going to grab both semis here on broadcast, and then everything through the rest of the way. We'll throw lowers in as we need to, but we should have pretty much all the coverage here for you going through this one. Interesting note, this Quirky team has no comms, Mirror Man.
It is an interesting thing to note, but I will say team-based games comms are very important in most games. They aren't generally as important in platform fighters as they are in comparison to other types of games in the genre. Generally too much stuff is happening for like precise like in the moment calls and like directions to be made. Like the only real thing you can really do that's helpful in twos is you can calm like overarching things like, hey, we need to focus this, the other team has 2 stocks remaining, this guy's at 140, this guy's at 10, let's make sure we're damaging the guy who's at 10, you know what I mean? And if you guys are both good enough at the format, generally you're both thinking that at the same time regardless, so it might not be something that's the most important thing to calm. So it's not as big of inhibitor as a lot of other things.
Yeah, I think the comms really useful between sets, if anything, just sharing the info that you've downloaded, but definitely not so much during the matchup. It almost feels like you just got to have the right sort of vibe with your partner, and it's much more important just to feel each other out. I think definitely the game slowed down, at least to the point where you can sort of start to calm, at least focuses, as you mentioned, when players are higher percent, but yeah, definitely not the most dire states for comms, but it's interesting to know at the very least. We'll jump into it now. Double Mortys on both sides of the stage. Clinster will pick one up as well. Kiwi Zombie on that Black Adam. I'm very interested to see that going into Quirky's Morty.
I think at the end of the day, what will determine this match is how good Kiwi is at stuffing out Mohawk. I made a mention of it earlier, how I think Black Adam is very strong at dealing with zoners such as Morty and things like that. Steven is a different issue entirely. While he's good at like setting, he has some things that make him stand still and set up a little bit. Just the raw air mobility and air-to-air combat Steven provides makes it so Black Adam is forced to jump around a lot more than he'd generally like to. Generally, he usually tries to play as like a more grounded character, as you see. He sets up the bubble, sets up a down tilt inside of it. But right now, we already see the red team trying to intrude on that space, setting up the Steven shield over to the left, trying to approach it with the Nair. But I mean, at the end of the day, damage has been going in the favor of blue team so far.
It's going to be an interesting download. All best of 5s, worth mentioning as well, going through the rest of the bracket. So that'll make things a little more comfortable here. But playing around that shield, I can already tell is going to be difficult for red team. So much space early in the up air immediately to grab out of that nade. Blue team cooking here in game 1.
This just goes to show you like how much these teams want to do well in this tournament for seeding tomorrow. Already off the bat, Cluster hits an immediate dirt into up air, one of Morty's main confirms to send the guy Mohawk on the other team super high. Skybox Kiwi immediately ready for it. Gets it confirmed in the first minute of the game. That's such an early stock to take in a team comps like this, which generally like to play slower. But I mean, the stock gets traded out right away. Quirky sitting at 109 right here. Kiwi sitting at 150, but the rewind from the blue Morty is out, meaning Kiwi's safe for at least a little while. And while he didn't even need to be safe, he was just able to take the stock on his own, got some damage onto Mohawk, and right now it's a small lead for blue team, especially if Kiwi can just do what he's been doing so far and does not take any damage.
And that stock definitely going to help as well. Just one more needed for this blue team now. Yet again, you're going to play within that Black Adam bubble. You can already see red team with that adaptation, going to be patient on it, not going to work into it. Going to kind of let this blue team try to play back outside of that stage control. And that's nice from them early. Some up airs going through, bounce off your own shield there for Steven. Is going to get back to the stage. Pretty even things are right now. Clinster kind of needs to get behind this Black Adam though. Let him tank it out.
This might be that one situation where I was talking about before the game, where the team, this is where like a team comp might help, because this is what I was saying, right? You need to take 2 stocks if you're the red team here. Morty's at 130, Black Adam's at 10. You need to rack up damage on the Black Adam there, and they were just never able to find it. They just did not hit Kiwi for the last 30-40 seconds of that game. In what was a closer game going into the last stock, the lead just grew and grew and grew for blue team until it was kind of eventually insurmountable.
We'll get a straight run back here in this one. I like the early advantage that this blue team gets. I really do think having the zoning capability is making things just that much easier. Haven't really seen the shields come in just yet for Steven to try to combat what has been this blue team sitting and chilling almost in the neutral stage.
I think what I really need to see is Mohawk manage to find some of these landing nairs that he's been going for. That last game, he got some good damage, like kind of around the mid game, but in the early and late game, he just didn't find any of these openings. Like here, you see him like doing these like floating high nairs over the shield, trying to force the Black Adam back to the corner. And right now, well, they aren't taking advantage of the stage control they're getting. They forced both the people on blue team into their respective corner, and then they both just backed up to their side of the stage. I feel like if you want to be enabled against a Black Adam team, you need to make sure he can't move. As soon as he's able to move, his value skyrockets. He does so much more for the team than he would otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. Just that fear that he might start that combo, so the backstep certainly does come through. I see what you mean here. Nothing landing early for Mohawk. That's put him at early percentages, but definitely you can say the same thing for the blue team. Very even things are right now. Watermelon Steven just there being a menace. Gonna get in the shield. That actually has forced blue team to move, and that might be the opportunity. Luckily, Clinster able to push them out of it with a simple jab combo, hit back with one of his own, sent off stage, and luckily the teammate there for a save. Oh.
I'm surprised no stocks have been gone. Finally, first stock coming out for the red team over on the right side of the stage. Catching Kiwi playing super aggressive. Right now, Cluster, I mean, he has the chance here. So this is where it's scary for red team, because while they do have a % lead, right? They're both pretty much at a kill percent for both the people on blue. Black Adam forward air, up air, Morty dirt into up air. There's so many confirms that can kill them here. And the question is like how well are they going to be able to push this lead before they manage to get caught? And the answer is not much at all. Up air from Morty coming out, taking one. There from Black Adam coming out, taking the other. Just instantly evening up the game. I mean, they are coming back with the respawn iframes though, and they are making it work for them. 70 damage on both the people on blue. Blue kind of needs something to happen now if they want to keep in this game.
Both players sent up early by Black Adam starts that carry up. They do get out rather quickly. That one could get deadly if they're unable to dodge it up there, and they do a good job of doing so. But yet again, this blue team trying to play around this shield strategy, and honestly starting to be kind of a non-factor for them the way red team's playing around it. Wait so long to try to play their way in. It's almost no fear for them walking through it. They're going to hold on to all this neutral stage, really forcing this Black Adam to find something to do, and he hasn't quite been able to do so.
I mean, they kind of just ran away from the second stock. Even though the blue team was able to equalize the game at one point, they just didn't do anything afterwards. Like, they got built the stocks they needed. Now Kiwi's forced to stall over by the side of the stage. And Black Adam up special, great move at just making sure you can stay alive off stage for a long period of time. But you have only 40 damage on Mohawk here. How are you going to make something happen? Up airs from Morty, getting some damage racked up. You do have the Steven and Burnout, but the cross stage snake shot coming out from Quirky, going to manage to clip Kiwi on the left side of the stage, and will lead to a kill, which evens out the score at 1-1.
Talking about this stage control coming through for blue team, it looked so nice off the shield in game 1. Definitely gave them an early advantage. It was able to push the envelope, give them a win. But game 2, it feels like red team able to smoothly work their way through shield, play all the extra stage control, and just take steps back. And man, what's the adaptation that we see from the blue team here to get back into the series?
I'm going to actually talk about the adaptation red team made in that game, because that's what I think blue team needs to adjust to. We saw at the start of that game, like how red team kind of gave up stage control, ran back to their side, and they didn't push the advantage. Somewhere in that game, the flip switched, and Mohawk just started playing super aggressive. Got a bunch of landing combos, which enabled Quirky to get a bunch of damage with grenades and things as well. And I think what we need to see from blue team is you need to basically make sure Steven can never get a landing nair on you. If he manages to find that opening on you, there's a really good chance he just blows you up. Like there he comes down with a rose bomb, gets it onto cluster, and he's able to take 50 damage off that opening. And despite both teams zoning so far, for the most part, the damage is pretty much in favor of red team at the moment.
Yeah, like the way the blue team gonna group this one back together. Nade and snake combo, good enough for cluster to finish an early stock. It's quite nice for them that 50% combo came through, but they haven't allowed anything else just yet. Gonna block all 3 nades early off the shield. That's so nice to see. Oh, the push off the jab, giving Black Adam that opening. Not quite able to find it though.
That's the power of Black Adam in this meta, man. He's got the shield to destroy all the nades. Like, even it doesn't matter like how relevant the zoners are. Black Adam's always there, ready to destroy you at a moment's notice. Right now, blue team's trying to push this lead, get some damage going. Burnout on the side of the red Morty, so Steven's forced to use shield just to protect him. But it doesn't even matter. Cluster just waiting for the rewind, waits for the pull. Whenever Morty uses that pull, he's forced to go where he starts, hits it with the dirt up air, and now this is a big lead for blue team. Lightning grab from Black Adam off the edge, such a good ledge stall tool as well. Throws down everyone. Watermelon, Steven, the regular Morty, you name it. And this is the damage on red team right now. It's so far, and they haven't even taken Kiwi's first stock.
Yeah, I really love the way blue team's playing around each other right now. And I love how Kiwi has been so patient, isn't greeting in early. That Black Adam aerial combo is so devastating, but has been willing to step back, wait, make sure the teammates protected as well. They're playing so nicely around each other. You see examples of it right there. That's going to lead to another stock, and they've got a very low Steven looking to close out game number 3.
This is looking a little bit over. Mohawk's just forced to stall by the edge. He's at 160. They have 3 stocks to take here. Even if you kill Kiwi, you have to go through a full other one. It's like, oh, this is one of the most rough spots to be in a double situation, because you're basically forcing Quirky to 1v2 for probably what would have to be around a minute and a half straight, and he's not allowed to lose one time. Like right there, you see him get absolutely blown up, just gets caught by the Black Adam up tilt, throws him back down, last stand, weaken applies, Morty grenade, just insta-kills him from center stage. You couldn't even see him die, how fast he flew. That's the problem. Steven's no longer allowed to participate. Quirky just can't win the 1v2 on his own.
Yeah, definitely in that position, almost unrecoverable. But it's the fact that you can't get into that position in the first place. So red team, you talk about their adaptation going into game number 2. Well, game number 3, we go right back the other way around. Blue team looking so solid, playing so cleanly off one another. And I leave it to red team to try to adapt yet again.
Mohawk just never got any big openings going that game, man. I think that's really what it's going to boil down to, is because Quirky and Cluster, they're both very good Mortys. They're going to be probably doing the same game plan a lot of the time, set up the nade splits to cover a lot of the stage at once, set up the dirt and up air for kill confirms whenever you need those going. Dirt in general, just applying weaken on people, making them take that bonus knockback and damage. It's just like a lot of like residual value over time. And it's just like, the thing is I think Kiwi is providing a lot more as the person making things happen than Mohawk was, at least in that last game. Because like right now, right? Like what do we see them doing? Kiwi sitting back, throwing some down tilts and bubbles in the corner, eating projectiles. Mohawk did a great job this time. He just waited them out, waited until all the resources were gone. That time flies in with a landing nair, gets so much damage on the blue team. Like I said, that landing nair, full charge, can do up to 20 damage. And a combo leads into combo as well. A landing there up air on the Morty almost leads to a kill. And like this is what we need to be seeing for Mohawk and Quirky to win this. We need to see these big damage openings just coming out on repeat while they themselves don't get blown up. Up air from Quirky going to lead to the first kill on the Cluster in this game, and they've taken barely any damage on either of their sides while having Kiwi at just the threat of going down already.
Yeah, I think they get Kiwi there as well off that target prio. They push that Morty away, and rather than looking to finish Cluster there, they double up on Kiwi, get a high percent early onto Black Adam as well to make sure they're evening out this one, making sure no one's left with extra stocks, no one's left to sit in the back line. It's really nice from red team thus far. Morty gonna work the combo. It's an up air, looking to finish it, but it'll be Morty's TP to save the day. Black Adam's still alive, but it's a 150 and a very dangerous one.
I'm surprised they haven't just ran down Kiwi at this point. I feel like if you're on red team, they're still up, right? But this is the point of the game where it's like, okay, you've had this guy alive at death percent for probably over a minute at this point, and you've taken so much damage at this point that it's becoming way more winnable for the other team. They finally managed to get the kill right there. But right now they're both at death percent, and Cluster being at a high percent here doesn't really matter, because that's like how the math of doubles works in this game, right? Since you're on like a 4-stock system, being the third death isn't that important. It's the fourth death that matters. So Cluster being at 80 here, if he dies, he's still on a fresh stock to play around with. So he's allowed to play as aggressive as he wants, because either him or the Black Adam still has this whole last stock to play with. You know what I mean? And then because of that, I mean, while they are technically down a stock right now, if they just do good damage to Mohawk, Kiwi and Cluster can still take this out despite how bad the start of this game was. Oh, it doesn't even matter.
You know, the good old commentator's curse to come through. They can bring it back.
You can bring it back.
It'll be back to game 5. Yeah, can they? Hey, at least we're still at uppers. You know, it'll be a lowers run for either of these teams. Nobody out of things just yet. And of course, both team's already punching its ticket to the 3K tomorrow. So feeling pretty good regardless, but you can tell the sweat is definitely on their brows. Already into game 5. We just started semis. I mean, you absolutely love to see it. This one coming down to the wire.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy how I think the performance of each game has really just been dependent on Mohawk here. It's this: if he does good, if he finds his opening, if he does good at avoiding the big Black Adam stuff, they win the game. If he doesn't do that, if he doesn't find his big stuff, they lose the game. And I think the first 20 seconds of this game are probably going to be indicative of how things go. Like we said, we see them trying to stall out the first wave of resources every single time on the side of Mohawk and Quirky, waiting out the Black Adam bubble, waiting out the Morty snake shots and grenades from the blue team. And now as soon as they expire, this is where these two Mohawks starting to go in. You can see them link at that landing there on the Cluster, rack up a bit of damage with Quirky as the support, throw out the shield to protect themselves a little bit. And right now they're kind of just playing on this home on the right side of the stage. Black Adam throws out a lightning grab, manages to hit the Steven and forces the Morty off stage. Damage is trading out on all sides here, but Kiwi's the only person who isn't really that hurt at the moment, while also being the heaviest character on screen. So I would say blue team is slightly at an advantage right now, so long as Cluster doesn't lose the stock, but he is off stage, although his teammate is in a prime position to protect him at the moment.
Yo, shout out to Mohawk for dodging both up airs there. Surprised he still has a stock to mess around with right now. Quirky gonna go up a bit in percentage as well, but pretty comfortable, I'd say, on both sides of the stage right now. Fighting for that neutral stage control. Awkward nade gonna come through. Mohawk gonna recover fine. Both will dodge dirt as well. And yeah, that's a really tough ledge guard to get back from.
Cluster. I mean, that's just the problem if you're, because we see Mohawk and Quirky. I mean, they even it up right away, but we see them playing this slow game where they're trying to wait out all the resources from blue team. But if you eventually lose all the stage, that just means you're off stage, and if you're off stage, that just means you might be dead. They do come back with the respawns right away and clean things up, and right now it looks like they're trying to get some damage going on to Cluster, trying to end his stock potentially pretty early here, but Kiwi is the one you need to be worried about. He's the guy who's going to be living for longer. Cluster's been the one they're getting the kills on always. But they need the damage on the Black Adam. Quirky only at 14% right now, doing a great job avoiding all sources of damage. And I think we're just going to continue to see that from him, setting up these nades over in the corner, trying to protect themselves from the Black Adam. And I mean, right now, they're a little bit up. It's not that much. One big opening onto Quirky here will even up the game.
Another decent job from Mohawk to get back right there. Once again, doubled on by blue team, manages to make it back. Gonna connect with the teammate as well, and they'll get a stock for it. I mean, if they take this, that all comes down to Mohawk and just staying alive.
Now, I think, oh man, this is the weird part if you're the red team right now, because yes, there's more damage on Black Adam here, but do you see how Kiwi's playing? You're probably going to struggle to really get in on him when he's just playing slow like that in the corner, and I think they realized it. So yeah, immediately when I say they realized it, they're actually deciding to go for Cluster a second time here, not really forcing the damage onto Kiwi, and now that they did so much damage to Cluster, Kiwi's forced to play a lot more aggressive, which means they can potentially rack up damage on both. The only thing that's important here on the side of red team is making sure Quirky doesn't take damage. If he takes damage, you lose the game, but as long as he doesn't, you just win. And there it is with the dirt up air confirmed. Quirky and Mohawk, they managed to take it in a 3-2 fashion. Very close set.
Yeah, very nice stuff coming through there. I like the bit of a Morty 1v1 we get, the respect from both partners just to let them kind of duke it out, see what happens. A good set coming through early. We get our first ticket up in what's going to be our winter final. Plenty more action though. We got all the lowers bracket, so no worries for this team. If you are fans, they're still going to make a run through. They still got a chance at things, and then of course qualified for that 3K already.
All right. And I could be wrong about this, but I think I'm not. I think the next match we're going to be going over to will be the other side of winter semis.
Yeah.
And that'll be Uzi and Archangel, who are going to be, like I said, they're going to be rocking the Superman Black Adam comp, versus Fauzi and Moi going by Mr. Aura in this bracket, but it's Moi. And I'm interested to see how this one goes. Both very high seeds in the tournament. Both, Uzi and Archangel having a very close set to get here in their winter semis match. They upset the number 1 seed, which is former in Kal-El, in a very close 2-1. Fauzi and Moi, I don't think they've dropped a game yet. I could be wrong about that. I don't think they've dropped a game yet to make it here to winter semis. So they're looking to keep their streak alive, trying to secure their spot in top 3 in this tournament. But this will be exciting. These are a lot of players who have been good at MultiVersus for basically the entirety of the launch. Mm-hmm. Uzi, Fauzi, Moi, Archangel all have had multiple notable tournament placings. All have done very, very well. All have done well, like have been some of the best of their characters, respectively. Moi and Fauzi in particular having represented multiple characters throughout their time in the game as well. So I'm interested to see how this one will go. I would say this will probably be another really close set. All the players in this game are going to be very strong.
Yeah, we love a close set. I mean, can you blame it? It's LCQ. A couple of players deciding to play just this morning, and man, I'm so glad they did. A super stacked bracket, and you are correct. Fauzi and Moi have not dropped a set so far throughout the day. So 100% correct on that one. The best of 3 stage, phenomenal for them. Of course, now into the best of 5s and into slightly elevated opponents. Does that change things for them? That's what we're going to have to see.
Mm-hmm. I believe Moi is going to be on the Morty. What is Fauzi playing in this tournament? Fauzi has so many characters he could be playing. I was told what he was playing earlier, and I forgot.
Real.
He has a lot of notable characters, I believe. I feel
like there's it's such an advantage, especially in this title, to switch between characters. It's the fact that it feels like every patch somebody is just super goated. Like, I'm sure chat will disagree with me, but I feel like Morty this patch is so good. Genuinely, I feel like zoning has so many options. I feel like nade combos are so good, and the fact that they're up till almost always going to confirm, I think it's just so solid that if you do have a good Morty, it's so worth playing right now. The same case with, like, if you have a Batman, you're reaping the rewards of character loyalty if you play a Batman into this patch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's such an advantage to knowing multiple characters, and it'll be a Steven coming out on this one.
Steven Morty, once again, I think this is probably the comp of this tournament. People are really big, like I said, people are really big fans of Steven this patch. He got some nice quality of life in the last patch on top of a lot of the other characters who are good against him being tuned down a bit, which just leaves him in a perfect spot to thrive. Morty as well, just having a really fantastic tournament today. I'm curious to see how well we're going to see these characters be represented tomorrow, because I feel like these characters had a lot of their representatives in the tournament today. But a lot of the people who are qualified for tomorrow aren't entered in this tournament today. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm curious to see if these characters will continue to have this level of representation. That being said, I believe we are getting into game 1 here. Oh, it's a crash from Nick. No, it's good. Okay, cool. Just taking a second. Yeah. Game 1 here, we're going to have to be seeing the same stuff from Archangel as we were seeing in the last set from Black Adam. We're going to have to see a lot more of the just denying Morty and Steven their ability to play the game in a lot of the ways that they meaningfully want to. But I think Archangel is going to be a lot more aggressive about it than like I said, we've been seeing a lot so far. Archangel loves the Black Adam dash attack, nice little shoulder bash that gets a lot of pressure, takes up a lot of the stage, forces people both away from him. But it doesn't really have anti-zoning properties, which kind of leads Moi and Fauzi to be in a spot where they have a great start to this game.
Most definitely. We'll try to go up early. If you're Fauzi, not quite going to find it, but still that pressure is so strong. That's 2 stocks taken very early and some high percent onto Uzi as well. Great position to be for the blue team.
I think we're at this game already is looking like it might be a lost cause unless Superman manages to make something crazy happen. I'm already trying to think of like what they're thinking in their heads on red team, right? And it's like it's not, this game isn't unwinnable. You have your Black Adam at 41. It's not over. But it's just like, okay, why are we getting blown up so much? And I think the answer, realistically, is they're trying to contest Steven straight on too much. Steven has some of the highest DPS in the game right now if he gets his openings. You have to really make sure he doesn't get enabled. And like every time they've tried to even get close to stuff Fauzi, Moi has been there. Every time they get an opening onto the Steven, Moi is there. You see it, snake shot dirt, up air, force the Black Adam away from his teammate. See him over on the edge, setting up a grenade over to the right side while he's avoiding the sniper punches from Superman. And it's just, they're just playing like so much more as a unit so far, and it's just preventing red team from getting anything massive started, which is, in a comp like Black Adam Superman, you want to explode the other team, and they just haven't been doing that.
Yeah, that's basically been quite nice from Blue on the other end of things. And that teamwork coming through. Fauzi gonna break the jab combo from Superman, able to get Mao back out of things. You're gonna play in that shield, trying to look for cover here. If you're a red team, it's basically anything that has the potential to blow you up out of this one. It's the Nair early, no up air to be found. Watermelon's even get a ledge guard all on his own, leaves a chance to double up on Black Adam.
I don't know, it's a little bit scary now, because one up smash from Superman can actually, oh my god, that was almost it. One up smash from Superman can actually potentially get the kill here on Moi if he can get into a prime position for it. And they actually had both the players. Okay, they were able to close it out, but they had both the players on red team in burnout. One off stage on the left, one off stage on the right. Burnout, your dodge is no longer invincible. That's like the perfect time to go for edge guards because they can't dodge you anymore. They kind of got indecisive and ended up going for neither. They were both dash dancing center stage for like 5 seconds straight because they didn't really want to risk dying going off stage for one. But if you have like both of your players jump off stage for Superman, he can only really kill one of you. If you do mess up, and you had 2 stocks to play with. And because they didn't do it, they actually almost lost the game. But I mean, they still took it at the end. So, but it was just a little bit of a worrisome situation because they almost threw their massive lead they had at the start.
Absolutely. One of the benefits to having the lead, though, the fact that you do get the opportunity to blow it rather than just straight blow the match. You like to see it. Only game 1 of what could be another 5-game series here in our second semifinal. We'll jump into it now. Game 2 on the way. And the Brawler's looking a bit cleaner up early. Oh, that ship gonna save Morty. That could have been a very early stock taken.
Superman is one of the scariest characters in the game when it comes to the offstage game. He can hit you with his up special, which he can throw you to the side. He can hit you with forward air and air trains, try to just take you over as far as he can to the side of the blast zone. Being aware that he's pretty much always going to be going for that when you're off stage is very, very important to win against Superman in a set like this. Because if he gets an early kill on you, if Superman gets a 1 kill at like 40 in a game, that could potentially be the game. Right there, we see a nice edge guard from Uzi with the grounded up special into up air confirm. He's really good at finding those as in the ledge trap situation. And it's like a pretty early stock on Fauzi, even though they haven't damaged Moi much. They're tanky characters. Big boys on the side of the red team means they're not really at threat of dying right now unless they like specifically get sharked by Steven pretty high up. Now they can get him because he's at 150 off the dirt up air. But Superman's still only at 80. He's not really even close to death yet.
Yeah, I mentioned that they're nice and tanky. They also can kill super early as well. It's a good wombo combo for these 2 characters. I do like the fact that we get a bit more jab, a little more poke in the hands of Meow. Even in Steven, I'd say, is going to get the dodge back to stage here. Trying to get comfortable is this team. They're going to start to work on the Superman. You got to be careful with them off ledge here. And you know that if your Moi can't really go play in there, was looking for that up air, wasn't quite able to commit it, but they will now, at least with the Steven. Looking to finish this one on Superman as well, but you can't chase it is the issue. He's so strong off stage.
Oh, that's big. That's going to be, I was going to say lightning grab off the Superman jab. Superman jab, one of the best moves in the game at just holding people in place. That's Black Adam have all the timing in the world he really needs to set up lightning grab. Right now, though, Archangel having lost 2 stocks already, kind of hurting who's hit the red team in this game. Now they only have 1 stock to play around with instead of this both. But I mean, if they get this edge guard on Moi, it could potentially be big. But Steven, just that versatility of coming back with the shield. You can't even go for the edge guard.
Nair try to start things off. looking real strong in the neutral stages. The red team, those percentages slowly ticking higher. It's last stock scenario for either side here. Nair's gonna whiff. That's awkward for Steven. Gonna start that combo. Fair coming through from the Black Adam as well. And it's an up air into disaster. Moi gonna find it off stage.
I'm surprised that they're winning these as convincingly as they are. That game looked like it started off so well for Uzi and Archangel. They took the first stock. They were both at like middling percents. But really boiled down to is like there was like a long period of that game where they just weren't matching the damage output that Fauzi and Ma were doing. They were just letting them get the big openings you can't let them get. They let them live a little bit too long. Let Ma live a little bit too long on the first stock when they could have killed him potentially earlier. They made that mistake on the right side of the stage where they both tried to edge guard Moi while Fauzi was respawning, and he came back with the bubble shield to protect Moi, which led to them both getting up-aired. And Morty up-air does a lot of damage. You just can't be... You can't really be eating that damage because, I mean, your whole point is that you're super tanky as the red team here. And if you're just eating some of the highest damage moves your opponents can put out on you, that's just going to lead you into spot to lose.
For sure, we'll jump in to game 3 now. Feel anybody set as it currently sits? Anyone excuse me? Oh, I like that combo a lot early. That Nair to push right back into Morty. He was looking to get a second up air off of it, but still a pretty decent combo. That's big percentage as well. We get 70 on Superman, almost able to kill him off the top early too.
It's once again, this is the same thing we've been seeing so far. Is Fauzi and Moi just outputting way more damage than the other team, and we have not seen Uzi get anything big going. We are 3 games into the set. We have not seen a single Superman edge guard, and that is like one of the main strengths he brings to the table. He can kill early. He can put his teammate in these spots where he can also kill early. Up smash from Superman into like a forward air from Black Adam. We're gonna see the neutral attack from Black Adam come out, and that would have been a kill onto both from Black Adam. If Superman didn't keep the jab going, he didn't drop the jab to let his Black Adam get the finishing blow, and they were both able to survive because of it. They did even out the damage though, so I mean it could be worse. It could be worse, but realistically, Moi is living on borrowed time right now.
Say the same there for Uzi. Gonna go off the top by the likes of Fouls. They're gonna look to keep pushing that one as well. Got Black Adam all the way off stage early. Shift to try to push that up there. Not quite enough percentage really to finish it, but certainly it'll be the dare instead. That gets the job done. Looking for more, and they'll find it. Chasing off stage, no longer fearing that Superman, and for good reason. They'll take the stock, and they'll take the game.
And that was all off the back of Uzi not dropping the jab. He kept the jab going off of his Black Adam hitting the double neutral attack. Black Adam neutral attack, one of the strongest moves in the entire game. It'll kill most of the cast from center stage at 80. He hit both of them at 100, and they both survive because Superman's holding them in place with the rapid jab. And I mean, it's just like that kind of micro thing is you find your one way back into the game. They were losing for the entire start. They get one big opening, one thing to bring it back. And then just a minor misplay, you threw it all away, and then Moi never died. The rest of the game, he lived for another minute and a half, 130%. They just never were able to kill him.
Yeah, I think just fantastic job off the Morty. Morty's so slippery. It gives a chance to really get away from these bigger characters, these bigger combos. I think Moi does a great job of doing that. But that is so difficult to do, truthfully. I mean, the character certainly has speed, but I mean, I gotta say, Dog might have ADHD. I mean, the ability for him to work both sides of the stage so easily. I mean, we see instances where we're looking at spaceship into up air, looking to grab one, instantly switches target prio to go work snakes to help his duo out. I mean, the ability to focus on both players at one time is almost abnormal.
That's one of the things Moi has always been the best at when in playing doubles. Moi, even throughout the beta of MultiVersus years ago, like, predominantly always one of the best players you could see in any bracket. Always does pretty well. Maybe has a rough performance here or there, but generally is in the top cut of almost every tournament. Always very, very aware of specifically the team play stuff that goes into doubles. You see a lot of doubles teams in this game that are just not necessarily trying to do their best as a team. They're kind of just like, doing their best thing in singles, and sometimes they're so good at just like winning their 1v1s or just going crazy on the advantage off hit that it just works out for them. Moi is good at that stuff, but is also just very aware.
Yeah.
You cannot just hit Moi's teammate and not expect Moi to hit you for doing it. And it's finding, especially in a character like Morty, who has the ability for things like dirt, cross-stage grenades, all the even snake shot, just all this like very large like stage presence. That's all pretty quick. The distances you could maybe attack someone's teammate. Generally, like, and be like, oh, they're halfway across the stage from their teammate, it'd be safe. They're not safe against Morty, and since Moi is so good at that kind of thing, it just really exasperates Morty's strengths.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Morty's also, at least looking at all the solos terms we've seen, aren't very prone to playing close. Prefer to be able to zone. So the fact that while also so successful at playing those close range, like there's almost nowhere safe on stage against them, and it really does attest to the fact that this team is moving forward in bracket. Definitely a good reason there. Speaking of bracket, that means we have Faust and Moi going into what is going to be our winners finals matchup against Mohawk and Q Quirky. I assume we jump down before we jump to that one, though. Probably start working through the lowers matches. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got the team screen. Shout out production.
We do have that. The teams we've seen so far in losers and winners that have lost, we'll still be seeing them in losers. They're still in, by the way. Uzi's still in the tournament. He's not out yet for the Superman fans. Okay, we're doing winners finals up next. All right. So this is apparently the meta of the tournament. It's not a team I've particularly seen do well in a lot of other tournaments, but apparently the Steven Morty comp this tournament, people are figuring it out. People are figuring it out. We're seeing a lot of success with it. That's what this winners finals is going to be. We're going to be seeing the Steven battle of Fauzi versus Mohawk versus the Morty battle of Moi versus Quirky. I want to talk about this one a little bit because Quirky has pretty much always been a Morty loyalist. Even back in the beta, Quirky's always been like one of the Morty guys. He's like always trying to push like the Morty tech, figuring out things like that. Full launch, he's always been the same. He's I would argue he's the Twitter face of Morty. Talking about all the Morty problems, things that are too strong, things that are too weak, things that are bugged, etc., etc. Moi, I've mentioned it before. Definitely a man of multiple characters. Morty is one of the more recent pickups. Morty is more of a full launch pickup that was originally picked up pretty early on when Dirt was a lot stronger than it was. But even after a lot of the Morty nerfs, still plays around a lot with the character, still uses Morty a lot in doubles, just because of some of the specific character strengths that the character brings to the table. And they bring some interesting takes to the table, because I think as a doubles player, Moi's a lot better than Quirky. A lot more aware of a lot of the doubles things going on, a lot more there for team combos, team support, things like that. But Quirky is a lot better at all the crazy shit that Morty brings. For lack of a better word. Better with the split nades, better with the instant nade tech, knows a lot more routes and advantage state sequences you can take off of things like jab. I think Quirky's a lot more willing to throw out dash attacks as well, just to not either hit people away or just knock nades around. And I think that matchup is going to be a pretty interesting one, because I think we're going to be seeing a lot more technical for Morty versus another one who's more game plan oriented. For the Steven matchup in particular, I'm actually not sure how this is going to go. Fauzi and Mohawk, both pretty good Stevens. Fauzi having picked up Steven more recently as well, I believe. But I think at the end of the day, what we're going to see is, I think we're going to see Fauzi be more similar to Moi, where he's going to be a lot more team play oriented, where Mohawk is trying to make a lot more just explosions, early kills off the top, things like that. And I think the dynamic between these teams will be interesting, even if they are the same comp.
Yeah, I love a good mirror match. Chance to see who's really better. I like the way you set the stage for that Morty matchup as well. We got Unk versus Youngblood when it comes to picking up the character and character experience. So that'll definitely be interesting. It's like it might be a second before we get this one set up. So we will jump to a short break, but don't go anywhere. More action on the Frostborn Last Chance qualifier when we return.
All I wanna do is to put my arms around you and watch these moments fall back into place. All I wanna do is to make you stop and love me. How can I be blue when you catch me in these feelings like oh, 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 oh.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Frost Esports. It's Catnator. It's Mirror Man. It's the last chance qualifier, and we're continuing the action. Forget lowers. We're going straight through. We're gonna get a team in grand finals right now. Winners finals on the way.
This is the determinant. Which is the better Morty Steven team? These are the only two Morty Steven teams left in the bracket. It's kind of crazy that they both brought these full comps out for this tournament, because this comp, like I said, it's always been pretty good, but it hasn't really had the mainstream success it's had really until today. We're going to be seeing what style is the dominant one? Is it like the more slow, methodical, team-based one, or is it going to be the one of, hey, these people want to blow you up with their biggest possible options? And I think we're going to be getting into it here in just a second. Players are loading into the match. Looks like we're going to be starting Trophy's Edge. The classic, honestly. Trophy's Edge, Sky Flat, always one of the two in basically every set.
Love to see it. You know, Amir, I'm always for call the ISO, ball up top, run the one. So I'm a big fan of team blow them up, but you know, I like to see some technical play at times. Good team play, I will say. Like really synchronized teams, I think, are more fun to watch than just bang out players. But we'll see what this matchup brings us.
Oh my god! I thought the watermelon team getting instantly blown up off the top by a grenade. Maw took so much damage off the first interaction from Quirky and Mohawk. The tipper Steven Upper just ends up blowing him up from the bottom of the stage. It's going to be a slobber knocker. People in this set are going to explode.
And that double shield on the side of the ledge had me so nervous for a moment. They do manage to escape it cleanly. Blue team slowly turning this game around. Got to keep an extra stock up here, though, to really make it look good. Trying to look to go off the top early, and it's a reversal from Mohawk. They're going to grab that one right back. One stock traded back to the direction as well. And a Morty TP to keep the teammate alive. Oh my goodness. You said people are blowing up. I mean, it's bomb after bomb right now on both sides of the stage.
It's kind of just crazy at the moment. We've already seen Mohawk get 2 kills off the top at like 60 to 70% on Moi. I don't know if it's just the decision making from Moi. He's just jumping too high to the top last zone, or if he's getting launched up there amidst all the chaos. But he's lost 2 stocks already within a minute. And as a character like Morty, who's generally trying to play slow, get your value over the long term with your grenades and things like that, you can't have that be happening. We see Fauzi almost in a position where he would have died as well, had to be saved by Moa's rewind. So rewind's off the table. Both people on blue team already at kill percent. Neither person on red is even hurt right now. And it's looking like this first game is going so far in this favor of Mohawk and Quirky. All it takes is one opening, one Steven up air, one Steven up B. Dirt up air. There's so many things you have to be scared of right now.
And you see the game kind of slow down to mimic that sentiment. Red team have the chance to just barrel down on Steven. They've done just that. It's one dash attack to finish the job. It's red team up first.
I think the real adaptation we need to see is we need to see Moa not die early. 2 stocks at 70 is not something you can let happen. Especially in a comp like this where both these teams really are fishing for early kills. If you were the one getting early killed, you are gone. You have lost. That is the lose condition right there. And first stock, Moa kind of got launched around into it. Nothing he could really do. Second stock, he just double jumped near the top of the blast zone. Got his jump read by Mohawk. It's just things you got to be aware of, really, in a comp like this. I think we're going to be seeing him potentially try to play a little more grounded, maybe just sticking it only to short hops, no more full hops. Short hop forward air is pretty good at interrupting Steven and himself. Starting off here, game 2, switch to the other common stage we always see, Sky Flat. And right now, we're seeing a little bit more group play from Moa and Fauzi. They sat up center stage, set up their shields to set up dirt, and had Fauzi go aggressive, and it's working a lot better for them.
Slowly team play starts to win the day. They'll split, and I like that. No, I'm gonna chase off stage. Is Moa gonna instantly get back with the duo, reset things up. They got a chance now to play a pretty nutty ledge guard, not quite able to do so, but a bit of extra damage off the Steven up air. Gonna start to work a nair as well, instantly pairing that into the Sarah in addition, and that's enough to kill. Great team play early from the blue squad.
And while it was a 1-to-1 trade, both Stevens have only lost their stock here. Moa has only taken 30 damage, while Quirky's taken 130. And that's what I think we're going to have to be seeing a lot of throughout this set. From Moa and Fauzi to take it. Fauzi finds the landing there into an up B, secure the kill on Quirky. And now, this is like that weird stock threshold. Killing both Fauzi and Moa here doesn't matter because they'll both have a whole extra stock to play with. Only taking one and having the other guy not be hurt is really, really rough. Given the stock math in a game like this, and especially in this situation where they're kind of just banging their head into the wall trying to trade damage to get the kill. They haven't even gotten it. Moa is still taking the least damage in the server, gets a rewind to save his teammate as well. This is looking so good for the blue team in game 2.
This is the snakes to come through to try to even things back up, but very high percentage still. If you're the red squad, got to be smart about what they're going to do to slowly work their way back into this one. And you see this blue team slowly try to work ones. It's an up air for the red team to give them the chance at the lead. And Faust just going to back up, let Mao come through with a full recharge stock, try to make the difference here. Have 2 players at 100%, so there's definitely room to work with, and they know that. Trying to slow the game down, but red team giving them no room to breathe.
Fauzi been playing this stock pretty aggressively, and it has not been working in his favor. Only 1 stock needed for red team to take the game. Fauzi kind of just holding forward, takes an immediate 80. And while both the people on red team are at kill percent, this is looking a little bit scary for blue. 1 dirt coming out from Quirky here could potentially lead to a kill on either of the blue players. They do manage to find the kill onto Mohawk, and now Quirky's just forced to run away. Caught by the Sarah at the edge, and his teammate threw a bubble on him to protect him. Mohawk threw a bubble on him to protect him, and then he dropped the bubble right as Quirky got hit. So it would have been a save. It would have let them have a chance to keep in the game. Ends up not being the case. Moa and Fauzi getting on the board, taking the set score to 1-1.
There's that bubble drop there, and then there's Quirky just looking to get away. Spams dodge, instantly burns, and then nothing to do there once that bubble does fall. So quite unfortunate. Still a pretty close game, though. I'd say anyone's set at this current time.
It's just like trying breakfast friends Smash Bros.
What we need to see here, I want to see Mohawk try to play more aggressive, honestly. I think the way you lose this is by letting Moa and Fauzi set up, because I think they're going to be better in that space than you will be. So I think you got to make them uncomfortable. You got to not let them get into their zone, really. Right now, they've done a good job at holding center stage better than the other team, but the damage is going basically even for both of them. They break the Steven shields on the side of Fauzi, and this dirt off this wall is going to be absolutely massive. Quirky just forcing them into Mohawk's shield. Mohawk getting some damage off of his wall. 113 on Fauzi right now, with him also still being out of bubbles as well, and 90 on Moa. Mohawk's been going crazy this game. Up smash off the platform on the right side of the stage. Potential advantage state onto Moa as well. I mean, he's only at 48. Everyone else in the game is at death percent. This has been a great game so far.
Both teams gonna chill. Just look at the old school Civil War line battle it, and it'll be the Morty of Quirky that'll get the kill there. They've got themselves 2 stocks up early. They're both gonna look to get back together as well. Good shield option. Barely come through. Very awkward right now for Quirky. Does manage to make it back cleanly though, and that Steven gonna look to tank all this damage as well. Pull all the focus. Lets his teammate get back recovered, but an up air from Wa gonna catch him early.
Right now, Mohawk's still doing a great job holding onto his first stock, trying to get some damage going onto Moa and Fauzi here. Sets over Moa over to the left side of the stage. He does have him in burnout as well, so Moa's forced to kind of play this slow until he gets this dodge meter back. And in the meantime, Quirky's just been racking up damage on Fauzi, on the Steven. And I mean, right now, it's such a big damage lead for Red Team. They finally get Mohawk down to the second stock. But unless Fauzi gets something crazy here, that's like the goal. I think Fauzi's forced to go aggressive. You're at 140, you can lose this stock because Ma's going to be the one tanking it. You just have to make something happen. The rewind keeps him alive for one more chance to go aggressive before he loses this one. Comes in with a surfboard, gets a landing nair. This is what you need. Pops them both up. Low resources onto Mohawk. He's able to shield down, but he has nothing off stage. Chance for edge guard. Dare off the side. Fauzi manages to find it. Now they're back in the game. All right, now they just need to kill Quirky. Fauzi still has 1 extra stock to come back and play with. Ma's stuck at 116 though. He has to run. Watermelon Stevens both dying. Letting out the scream of children in my ears. They need to get this kill on Quirky. I don't know why Fauzi's going for Mohawk here. That's not the one you need to be going for. You need to be going for the Morty who's at 90, not the Steven at 10. And while they were able to make a bit of a play to make it back, it wasn't enough.
Man, that one was slowly looking winnable. I mean, you have the chance to just waste the stock there, able to get so much more on top of it. Instead, Fauzi chasing so hard off stage there to find that dare to convert. But I mean, I feel like the moment that they get the respawn there, they work just way too hard onto Quirky early. They're not able to catch the Morty. In the moment that they don't, it's like panic mode ensues. We didn't get this stock. Oh, now we're screwed. We're too high percentage. And it just kind of breaks down the game plan entirely. I think you're entirely right. Just the focus, the Morty there, I feel like they completely outplay themselves. And it's just tough to see on what could have been a pretty clean comeback.
All right, 2-1 scoreline right now. The question is, how are they going to change? It's kind of hard to tell like what adjustments are happening in this kind of set, because I think at the end of the day, both these teams have been trying to play the same. We generally always see Mohawk and Quirky try to wait out the options of Fauzi and Moa, and then once they're out, they try to play super aggressive. So far this game, it's working out in Moa and Fauzi's favor. They managed to back them into the corner with their options, pressure to keep the pressure going. Mohawk forced to dip into the blast zone just to survive with the rewind. Stock for stock right now, but Mohawk's the closest one to losing his second here, and there it is. Just the shark from Fauzi, and I mean, right now, Moa and Fauzi, they're just trying to keep it going. Fauzi's still on the first. He's doing such a great job at being the last person staying alive in these games.
The disgusting dodge read to find that second blue team stock. Still very high Steven though, and Fauzi almost set off his own shield to his death and will eventually go just that way. Mohawk gonna send him off the top. Now getting pushed to the edge of stage here, enough to die. Red team really looking to finish this set.
They're doing pretty good so far right now. Trying to get this. I mean, Fauzi's at death percent. You have a 90. Moa's trying to make something happen with these stairs to destroy all the shields in front of him. But the blue Steven forced to run to the left side of the stage. He's trying to rack up some damage onto Mohawk, so you do need to kill him if you want to win this game. But he's so close to death percent himself. These nades on the right side of the stage are going to be sent over. They're going to be eaten by the shields. They do manage to find a nade through the crack. Quirky loses his stock on the side of Moa, but the up air from Mohawk comes out, secures the kill. Here's the kill and the 3-1 victory for Mohawk and Quirky.
That played really nicely. I mean, Fauzi does what they can. The opportunity to maybe turn that one, but it's Mohawk just going to catch him early with the up air. Recognizing the fact that that team, once again, getting desperate there, trying to make a comeback possible, knows they have no choice but to work on that more to try to finish the job, and recognizing that all you got to do, group together as a duo and punish them as soon as they walk in on the approach.
I think it's notable there that every game except for the last one, the Steven that held their stock for the longest won. That last one, Fauzi managed to hold on to the longest. But the problem is like, Fauzi, they're in a position to win this one. They have his Morty died, but they kill both the people on the other team. Fauzi's still in his first stock, but then Moa died again, and then it's like, then now it's like, okay, at what point is stock tanking worth it? At what point are you playing too slow? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. At what point are you just taking too much extra damage when you should really be trying to make something happen on your own? And I think at the end of the day, just the pressure that Quirky was throwing out with the Morty nades, it was just kind of too much for them to overcome.
Yeah, at the end of the day ends. Simply put. Great set, though, coming through. I do wonder if that speaks to kind of what this meta is going to look like. I mean, technically, two teams going the farthest as of right now on the same comp. That does start to make me feel like the winds might be shifting. I wonder what's in lowers, though. Still a couple good teams there. If we could take a look at the bracket, especially on the lower side of it, I'm interested to see who's still cooking down there. I wonder if my man Bugsy is still in this thing.
Bugsy
the actual
is not
of the game.
Bugsy's not in this
way.
He's out.
Around.
We got Uzi and Archangel winning their set in losers versus Cernal and Eris, continuing their tirade into top 4. And on the other side of losers, we have Greeted and Oog, who went to losers pretty early. Greeted and Oog, very good players. Oog, I believe, on Agent Smith this tournament. If I'm someone can correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure he's on Agent Smith this tournament. They lost in winners round 3 to Cernal and Eris, the team that got 5th on the other side. And since dropping to losers, they have, like I said, they've been on an absolute tear. They beat Costi and Thaxi, really good team. Lethal and Malignant Auto, Universe Trout and Davis, former Kal-El, who was the number 1 seed of the tournament, and then they beat Cluster and Kiwi, who we saw earlier. And then, did they actually? Oh, never mind. Are we even seeing? We might even be seeing loser semis. I think loser semis might have already played.
Not seeing.
I think we're in top 3. Well, they're at 4. They won 5 or 6 sets in a row in losers, which is very impressive.
This team literally lost as we zoomed in on their match. I mean, we've transcended the commentator's curse. We literally have reached the full production curse. This is actually crazy. But Uzi and Archangel going to push through. I love to see that from them. I do want to see this team play again. We got to see them play already in winter semis. Looked good, very close set, went all the way to 5. So would love to have a chance to get them back on the broadcast.
And we're going to be, so this is going to be the same team that sent Uzi and Archangel to losers. They lost to Fauzi and Moi in winners. That was the team they lost to. They've had some time to talk about it. It's been a little bit since their winner set. I'm really curious as to what kind of adaptations they're going to make, because last set it really just felt like they didn't have much of a leg in it throughout most of the set. Uzi never really got anything crazy going. The couple of times that Archangel got some good stuff going, he got blown up basically immediately after for his efforts. And I don't know what the adaptation is going to be or how they're planning on trying to find their way in versus this comp. But I got faith in them. Uzi's a very smart player, I think. And I think him and Archangel will be able to talk it out and try to at least come up with a new game plan. Whether it works or not, I'm curious to see how it'll go.
Yeah, I think also you got to think about the matchup that they're playing into in that set as well. I mean, just getting super spaced, that makes it difficult. And the fact that if you can't get close with either character, it's really difficult to be able to actually deal out any sort of power. So I do think that kind of plays a hand in that match. So we'll see what they run into going forward. I don't think the comp they'll play into against Faz and Moi is going to be any easier, unfortunately. The Steven going to be good for spacing, and then Moz Morty is pretty dang solid. So you're really relying on Black Adam to kill projectiles and do so well, which they weren't able to do in the matchup that we saw already.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not concerned. I just got the main stream now, or your stream now. All right, Skyflat once again. These teams are so boring, man. I need someone to pick something interesting. Hi guys, this is Gentleman Skyflat Trophies Edge, random every game. Woo. Where's the Cromulons? Where's the
Where's
everything else?
Man. Where's Scooby? No roof. What are we doing?
All the
It's almost like
interesting.
there's like money on the line or something.
All the interesting teams are in the 3K. There's gonna be some teams tomorrow that aren't afraid to pick the more wacky stages, which I'm a fan of. I need some variety. Variety is the spice of life. All right, starting off the game, big jab combo coming out from Uzi. I need Archangel to get something off of this. There we go. Like I said, that Black Adam neutral attack is almost a death sentence at any percent. Almost dying off the top at I believe 40% when he got hit by it. Good DI to make sure he didn't actually go all the way off, but it's not a bad start for Uzi and Archangel to start off this game. Superman jab combo, I would have loved to see a lot more damage come out of that. If Archangel actually hit the lightning grab instead of missing it, it would have potentially been huge for them. Right now, they're basically, what should have been a lead basically puts them at even. And Archangel's still the first person to lose his stock off to the mortar grenade.
The shield bounce has been so awkward for Faust early. Bro's own utility getting used against him, and you can see these tanks playing a lot more aggressively early. That ledge guard is clean. That fair not quite enough to kill. Faust somehow gonna get back. Was that 110 off that fair? Really surprised he made it back.
Big thing is right now is I think they need to make sure they get this kill on Fauzi. This is the type of Steve and Morty is the type of comp where if you fall behind, you're not bringing it back. They do so much over time. Their damage output is just so crazy, right? That you need to kind of stay with them the entire time. Whenever you get Fauzi at a high percent like that, I almost think you need to force the kill. I don't think you can just let him survive for a prolonged period of time. They're doing an okay job at racking up damage right now. Uzi's tanky enough that even though he's at 90 right now, he's not necessarily at a death percent. He's getting close, but right now the question is like, can he manage not to take enough damage to die before they manage to find something on Fauzi? Fauzi is in burnout right now. Steven does not have any dodge meter. That would be a good time to push advantage, but they just decide not to. I'm surprised at how many teams today are just like, hey, the guy we need to kill is in burnout, and then they just don't try to do anything about it. Like, if you play this game slow, you're gonna lose. Morty has grenades. Archangel got so scared of the UFO that he SD'd. On the left side of the stage. He used side B and flight to get away from it, and he just ran out of resources. I think he had something. I think he thought he had one more B move, one more special to make it back. He ran himself out, went too low. Couldn't make it back to the edge. And it's just one of those situations, man, where you just need to be aware of your opponent's resources. They had their chance to make something happen, and then they decided to play it slow. And you can't play it slow versus this comp. I just don't think it's allowed.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of control if you let this team get going. So I think there's definitely some truth to that one. I just think around that second, third stock combined, the team was looking solid. It's just a matter of continuing that momentum and really not putting their foot off the gas. I love this from Uzi early, really taking it to the Steven, not afraid of it. Gonna be able to throw him back here as well, playing much, much more aggressive. And I think that's the ticket to this team winning the matchup.
We just had a really good edge guard on Fauzi right there. He had a potential chance lead for a kill, but I think he got scared of them all coming to interrupt, so he decided to play it slow and just played the rinse repeat game. Racked up a lot of damage onto the side of the Steven, but right now, Moi only at 30%. If they kill Fauzi fast enough, it's not a huge deal. That is going to be a lightning grab, confirming into an up smash from Superman. Steven's forced to go to the top last on a 118. But, I mean, he doesn't, as long as he doesn't lose his stock, Fauzi's still in a really good position right now. Forward on the Superman descending to the left. Black Adam finally manages to find the mark with the forwarder to kill him off the top. And I mean, it's a small lead for blue, but they need to get the kill on Moi.
Certainly so. Ma luckily gonna come to them, but is able to take both instead. The Steven Sayer pushing into the up air from Morty. That is disgusting stuff. Talk about a duo on the same page.
That's why I've always said, by the way, was so ready in doubles for anything. Sees his teammate get a hit instantly. Like, he was already jumped. As soon as he saw his teammate go for the forward air, he was already jumping for an up air of his own. He's just so aware of situations like that, and they've just absolutely blown Uzi and Archangel up on these stocks. Just waiting out the air dodges side of Fauzi, forces Archangel over to the corner, just hits him with the up air. And I mean, that was a dominant game too, despite they were losing at the start too. Like, Fauzi got edge guarded for a little while, took like 70 damage right away, but then they just that second half of the game, they just obliterated them.
Just absurd reactions. You know, I talk about the fact that I want to see blue team get more aggressive. They get more aggressive and just get punished. So, man, I don't know. Yeah, you have to figure out your own adaptation there, because that definitely was not the answer, man. And you mentioned it. Yeah, that's the start of the game looks so good, but unfortunately, you know, it doesn't quite go their way. We'll go to game 3 now. see if there's some better odds here for the blue squad.
I'm just trying to think back to that first stock because we're seeing a character change, by the way. I don't know if you saw it. That's not Superman.
Yeah, that's pretty lame, bro. You know,
I respect it. Down 2-0, lost. You've already lost 5 games to these guys. It's like, you know what? Let's try something new. Let's see if the mix-up works out. I think Batman does a good job, similar to Superman, where if he gets a jab combo, he can keep them in place for a while for his teammate to help support.
Sure.
I think Battering is also good at stuffing Steven out of the air with all these aerial nair approaches. Battering can actually interrupt him a little bit more. That being said, I think Uzi's Batman is not as good as his Superman, but we'll see if it brings some stuff to the table here.
Yeah, I do think Batman is elevated right now, though. You got to consider. Batman is the GOAT right now.
He's pretty good right now. He's pretty darn good. I still think he's probably not in singles. He's something. In doubles, he's still probably not the best, but he's like very good. Right now, it's not looking too good.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Moa finds the snake shot to kill Archangel off the side. Uzi's made a little bit of stuff happen on Fauzi in terms of damage, but they've gotten nothing going so far for them. Steven staying alive at 120 to the uppercut. I can't believe he's alive off that uppercut. And right now, just the UFO stopping Uzi from making it down. Moa's fine both kills so far, only taking 50 damage. I think they're doing better against Fauzi this game. They're not doing anything against Moa. He has just been making things happen. Throws out the snake shot, throws out the nades, catches the tech with the Sair. Archangel just takes an immediate 50 damage.
With that Battering just barely going to find Moa. Gives a chance there for this blue team to try to get back into the neutral. That combo immediately coming back through, though. Fauzi going to start to carry that one off the shield, and so clean to finish the job. It's a 3-1 lead for the red team. It's looking real rough, even with that Batman on their side.
All right, they need to find a kill onto Fauzi or Moa right now if they want to bring it back. The uppercut does get the kill, but Moa's the one that's proven harder to kill. They kill on Fauzi too, so you have the option of going for either here, but Uzi basically has to do it as a 1v2. Black Adam is no longer allowed to participate in this game. 101 stuck off stage, low resources on him. Trying to get this ledge trap going, the dirt in the corner. He does make it back to the center, but he has no dodge meters. It's looking rough. Uzi's just getting whacked back and forth over and over. He hasn't gotten any meaningful damage. Tries to grapple back, gets stuffed by the snake shot.
Yeah.
This dirt off the platform into the up air, into the up special from Steven, sorry. It's just a 3-0, and it's a convincing 3-0 at that. They just feel like they never had an in.
Yeah, absolutely. Archangel there just gets so low on ledge that Uzi has no choice but to eat 70% of damage trying to get his teammate back to the stage. By that point, you're just getting pummeled. This team just played really good games, and sometimes it just comes down to that. Really the highlight of that for me is the double up air from Wow coming off stage. Speaks to the fact that this team on the same wavelength. It's very obvious why they're able to take this one. And I mentioned, before we go into that set as well, if the tanks can't get close, I think it's very difficult for them to have any sort of value, and they could get nowhere near this team.
For sure. In this, they just never got anything going. Uzi had one chance in both sets, 2 sets combined. Uzi had one potential early edge guard, and he missed it. And that was the one time he ever had that opening, ever, the whole time. And it just, there's maybe a couple things he could do. Maybe he just plays slower and he only spams laser and ice breath and he never approaches. Maybe that'll help slow them down. Maybe he just runs in and only uses armor moves and just plays for trades the entire game. Maybe Archangel, maybe Black Adam tries to approach with theirs a little more. Maybe a couple more claps to ruin the Steven armor, because Black Adam Nair has that big armor break property on it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, nothing they tried in these couple of sets worked. And if nothing you try works, you're just not going to come out on top. Especially against players like Fauzi and Moa, who are so historically very good in doubles.
Historically very good, and so much so they've punched their ticket to Grands. They'll meet Mohawk and Quirky. It's going to be an interesting set. Steven and Morty's back for more action. They get themselves a rematch as well. We saw them play winners final. We saw the one, of course, go Mohawk's way as they're in uppers. So now you're feeling pretty good if you're the second seed team. You've already beat them once. You get the chance now to go do so again. And even if you don't, you got the whole reset on your side. So it's going to take a whole lot, 6 games, if Fauzi Moa want to win this tournament.
I think what's also beneficial if you're Mohawk and Quirky is they won winners 3-1. It wasn't like a 3-0.
Right.
But the last game they won was convincing. And ending, even though obviously the other team has more momentum because they just came off a set win and losers. Sure. Like if you're a team in winners here, you have to feel pretty confident, right? It's like, okay, well, the last game we beat them by a landslide. Like it's easy to go into like that kind of game with like a very like confident, like, hey, we're in a good position to win this whole thing mindset. You know what I mean? I'm curious. I think the first set will be determined by whoever. I won't say it'll be fully determined by whoever wins the first game, but I feel it'll be very indicative of whether the momentum from losers matters, or if Quirky and Mohawk are just like, or pull a like, oh, we're just better than them, let's just win. Unless this might be interesting. We might not see the Ditto. We might not see the Ditto.
From which side?
Not pointing fingers at anyone, but a certain someone has had some really good results early on in this game with a character known as Gizmo. May or may not have gone by Fauzi. He may or may not have gotten some really, really good placements with Gizmo early on, and he may or may not be bringing out the Gizmo here in this set instead of the Morty. So we aren't going to be seeing the Ditto here. We're going to be seeing them try something new.
All right, so we get double projectile coming from this side. If Mohawk can get in close, though, and really put pressure on this Gizmo, I don't know if it's going to make a difference.
Historically, in a 1v1 scenario, Steven is one of the better characters against Gizmo. You could set up shields to block his stuff. You can nair to one-shot his car. If you nair at perfect timing, it also eats arrow. Forward airs can reflect arrows. Things like that. But that's from a historical perspective. Fauzi is a very good Gizmo. He makes things that people wouldn't necessarily say are the best still work in his favor. Sure. It's kind of an expectation breaker as well, right? Like these guys, like if you're Quirky and Mohawk, you're sitting in winners, like, okay, we're going to be fighting the same guys. Let's just get ready for them. And then they hit you with something new. Like maybe that messes up your game plan. Maybe that messes up how you want to play things. Right now, I think the first test will be if this explosive car manages to hit anyone, and it doesn't. 24 damage avoided on the side of Mohawk. But right now, Fauzi's only at 1%.
Yeah, Fauzi looking to stay behind more so in this one. It's actually going to dodge the up air as well coming off that dirt, so that's quite interesting. A lot of early space taken by Moi. Unfortunately, is going to get punished pretty severely on top of it. Mohawk high percentage as well, so that makes me nervous in terms of being able to tank these projectiles for the team. But so far, this is probably the slowest game we've seen on broadcast thus far. Still everyone with 0 stocks. It's been a minute of action, and as I say that, the first one going to come through. Big potential to trade here.
This is already looking a lot more close than the final games were for Fauzi and Moi. I think this serves their game plan a little bit better than the Steven and Morty did regardless. I'm just like, hey, let's sit back and let's just like make them play our game. Like I think Gizmo lends himself a lot more to that play style, while Steven generally wants to land on people a little bit more. That being, I mean, they're just both holding onto this first stock literally forever. Fauzi getting a trade with Steven Sayre, but he isn't going to lose the stock for it. Catches the dodge with the arrow on the right side of the stage, trying to get this kill onto Mohawk. I mean, Mohawk's almost already lost 2. And the only one other person in the server has even lost 1.
Just a bit nervous in this comp. I think it's going to settle in, though, if we give it some time. And yeah, you already see it starting to do so. They were just barely stepping over each other in terms of kill. I think that's why it took so long for them to get that first stock on the board. But once it starts rolling quite nicely. They're really respecting each other's space. As a team, they're going to rewind here for space, and that's going to give the chance for Gizmo to stay alive as well. Both players going to be able to dodge the Morty there. Very nice coming out from the blue team, and even a high percentage. Fauzi still jumping in, no fear, racking up extra percent onto Mohawk.
I mean, this is just, I mean, like I said, Fauzi is a very, very good Gizmo. We are 2 minutes and 10 seconds into this game. He finally lost his first stock. I think he did at least 250 damage during that stock as well. Just the endless value they're providing. Tries to get the dirt into the arrow. The side specials in the corner. I mean, you got to get past a lot of things here. You got to get past Morty and Grenade. You got to get past this Gizmo umbrella. They do manage to make their in, but Fauzi's still at 0. Both of them are at death percent. I just don't really see this happening.
It's gonna be so difficult. No fear from Moi early. Knows they have the stock to give away, and it's gonna be a car straight to the dome from Fauzi. They switch through on to the Gizmo, and man, does it work out for the losers team. They'll take game 1 here of Grant.
Lion Toast is in shambles right now. I know it. He's on his downplay Gizmo arc. I'm not having it. Gizmo comes out. He does good. Come on, man. This is.
Yeah, you gotta give credit where credit's due, man. They
I am curious. to see if like that was like a mindset thing, if Quirky and Mohawk are gonna have like a new type of game plan here, you know what I mean, for this. Because like I said, the Gizmo it's just the mix-up. Like you come from losers, you win with Steven, and then you win the set 3-0, and then you switch characters anyway. Like what are you gonna do to deal with that? Like what's the expectations here? I think in general, I think I need to see Mohawk purposefully denying Fauzi more. If you just let Fauzi sit there, he will just rain arrows on you from above, and you will just take guaranteed massive damage over time. That ignite that the arrows do, like that DOT, is so impactful in doubles. Something like Car is also very impactful. If he hits an explosive Car on you, it's like a free 24 damage. But generally, I think that's what I need to see from Mohawk. I'm curious if he's going to be going for it a lot. Explosive Car comes out. That's such massive damage. Explosion hits both. That's like a free 30. And I mean, this is already looking the same as last game where Fauzi's just able to play his own game, sits back, fires arrows, fires off cars, just let him off frontline.
They're just giving so much space to the Gizmo right now. And then on top of that, when they do look to put pressure further past neutral, it's Mohawk helping to combo for Moi instead. So still, even in those moments of attack from the red team, you're still seeing Fauzi just kind of chill on the top, getting pushed at this current moment, but just waiting for that teammate to get back, a rewind to recover. Very nice stuff from the blue team. Still look to finish though as Mohawk can't quite do so.
No one's dead yet, and they're doing a lot better at least having damage on Fauzi this time, even if they aren't in a great spot. Nice from Quirky, the Sair into the wall, into the Sair the other way. Stuffs out Fauzi on the approach as well. I mean, this is really good. The Nair into the ground bounce, into up air from Mohawk. They just caught Fauzi getting too aggressive, and now they have a bit of a lead going for themselves. Already up to 60 on Moi on the stock. Fauzi's going to be the one living longer regardless, so it's not too important. But, I mean, maybe they get into a situation where they can kill Moi here twice if they don't want to go for Fauzi. And you have options here. You have options here since Quirky's lived so long.
Good shield there to deny Fauzi options. You see Mohawk looking for Moi there. It's going to be trades on both sides, so advantage for the red team here. Up a stock when it comes to things. They're looking for that Gizmo, but no one really high percent just yet. Might be more worth it to focus this Morty instead. We'll see what the option ends up being as they're slowly acquiring damage.
They're doing a bit of damage right now onto Quirky. I don't think Quirky can be taking this. He gets set on fire, 3 stacks of weaken from getting hit by dirt multiple times. It's coming in clutch for the blue team to rack up a lot, but the ladder combo is just run him out of dodges. You get them both stuck above you. Steven catches the right, Morty catches the left. Just force them up over and over and over again, and Quirky and Mohawk make something happen in this game.
Yeah, I saw him looking for that too early in this game too. Finally able to find it, and quite rewarding for them to be able to do so. I like the adjustment of them very early, recognizing the fact that arrows just raining in from the backline have to do something about it, and they certainly do just that. I do think it still takes them just a second to adapt to it, but now that's tuned in, interested to see how this game goes now that we're 1-1.
I think that game fell apart for Fauzi and Moi the moment Fauzi stopped doing what he was trying. Moi went for an edge guard on Quirky, got reversal, died. Fauzi went for that same edge guard immediately after that, got uppered 3 times, took 50%, died for it. It's like, I think as long as they stick to their game plan, they're in a way better spot, but they just like forgot about it halfway through the game. We do see a return to form right here already. Them both just playing slow at the start. Fauzi over in the corner, although we see Mohawk actually going on to Fauzi this time instead of Moi.
Fauzi getting a lot more up close and personal here. That makes me nervous for the Gizmo, but handling it nicely, trying to put some pressure off of Moi, and is able to do so. Gets his teammate back to safety. Gonna look to start a ladder. Can't quite make it happen. But there's a lot more aggression going through here. It feels like the blue team having to play towards the red team's game, much less so than playing that patient backline, just throw projectiles play that they were looking for, which may make things awkward. A chance there, that arrow combo almost setting up the up air for Morty, but it's a reversal the other way, and suddenly 2 stocks gone from the red team.
That was a phenomenal hit from Quirky there. He hit him with jab into neutral attack, which if you don't know on Morty, it spawns the little lasso that he launches himself forward with on hit. He comboed that into a double Sair to get the kill on Moi in a situation where we would never be able to reach him otherwise. It's just a fantastic way to take that first stock.
Good trades coming through, and there's decent percentage on Mohawk as well that I'm willing to call this game even as it currently sits. Car mitigated, so we're fully resetting here when it comes to neutral. That shield having to get played around. It's going to be a double onto Quirky very early, looking to start a ladder, not quite able to find it. Gizmo trying to get comfortable. But stuck in this awkward position right now where you're worried about Maw getting focused. Car back out. Gonna land big damage here. A chance for the up air as well. Shot so early, though, from Maw that they're not going to convert it. But high percentage for Red here. You just need these players dead, and you've got yourself game 3.
I'm a little bit scared right now. Moi is missing kill confirms. He hit Mohawk with dirt twice, and both of those dirts could have confirmed into up air. He missed both. Right now, Mohawk's kind of living on borrowed time. He is still going to be the final stock. He's forced to stall over in the corner. Arrow would kill him if he gets hit up there, but he's just going to use rewind to make it down to the other side of the stage. Now the question is, how are they going to find this kill? Fauzi loses his life. Mohawk should be dead right now. He's only alive because Moi missed the confirm earlier. Snipe!
Nah.
Oh, it's the arrow! It's the arrow demon, Fauzi, from center stage, catching him in the blast zone, catches the jump up special. And I mean, that's 2-1 for Mo and Fauzi. And they're making it work. They're making it work with the gizmo.
All right, well, hitting a snipe like that is so tough too, coming off of basically no warm-up on the character, running through bracket and then switching over just now into grands and making it work. That is fantastic stuff from Fauzi. Gonna give the lead here to the team running in lowers, a chance to reset if they can take this one.
All right, moving on, game 4. The one fun thing about this is a fun MultiVersus mechanic, but if you random between if you have 2 stages selected in random, it doesn't actually random each game, it just alternates between the 2. Random can't go to the last stage you are on, so we're just going to be seeing alternating between Skyflat and trophies. I wonder if it's the stage that matters, because we've seen Fauzi and Moi win both times on trophies, and we saw them lose the one time on Skyflat. So if Mohawk and Quirky wins this one, it might mean something.
See what the case ends up being. Early up air from Mohawk. Quick little reset. Up air spam on its way. Forces out rewind. That's going to make things awkward if they can push this one off ledge. Blue team not quite able to do so. Car will explode. No one home to greet it, though. Combo on its way. It's looking good from Fauzi. Not enough to finish the job, though. Both players caught off stage. This is really awkward from Blue team. They dove so far for it. It's going to cost them a stock. It could cost them another. Nade on its way. Down air's there. Still the recovery out from the gizmo.
Oh, he's doing. Oh my god! I can't believe he lit that up for Fauzi. He's living. He is living. I actually am. I'm in awe. And do they get this kill onto Mohawk? They get the kill on Mohawk off of him chasing too far for the edge guard. Moi is ready. Gets the jab combo as well. Forces him off to the side. Full of dodge notes as well on the side of Moi right now, which means his dodges are attacks. It's a little bit of an opening onto Mohawk for it. I cannot believe Fauzi is alive at 170%.
Be careful though, because can't really have any influence in this fight. And you can tell the red team knows it, focusing so hard on their teammates. Going to be trades here from both sides, so we'll go 2-2. And yet again, it's going to be that reset in the middle of the game. We saw that last game as well. Both these teams trying to get comfortable once those 2 stocks fade.
All right, you got good damage on Mohawk here, but the question is, how are you going to get this damage racked up on the Quirky? They're both going pretty aggressive on him right now. Snake shot into double Sair from Moi, got him stuck in the corner. Fauzi's the only one not at too high of a percent right now. I mean, they're forcing out these dodges from Quirky. The weakened stacks from the dirt are also coming in really clutch, racking up so much extra damage. But I mean, it's not that far of a deficit for red team. Quirky dies to a nade, and that's your character you need to live. Forced to use the rewind too to survive the gizmo upper. Finds the confirm onto Moi, but how are you going to chase down Fauzi? He's been so hard to kill.
Mohawk's so high percent on the other end as well. It's going to make things so awkward. Mentioned Fauzi just lived on 160. You think a mere 80 is going to take this guy down? Looking to find Mohawk here. Popcorn in early. Mohawk, you can't jump there. Does so anyway. It's the easiest ledge guard of the gizmo's life. Let's go ahead and reset the bracket.
Myself 3-1 and the gizmo. The gizmo, who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Pulling it out after not warming it up is crazy, by the way. You mentioned it earlier, but playing the whole bracket on one character and just deciding, let's swap it up for grands. Don't even need to warm them up. Let's just go into it. I mean, they've only lost 1 so far, and 2 of the games they've won have been pretty dominating at that.
I gotta be honest. Coming in, I was a hater. I didn't think the gizmo would make a difference, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for hating. I was wrong, and I'm willing to admit that. We'll reset the bracket now, and you got to think, a whole set's come through Mir. Surely the red squad has downloaded the gizmo by now.
That is what you'd think, but I saw some, I don't even know how to put it, some miracles last game from Fauzi. They let him get to 170. He's one of the lightest characters in the game, and you're two characters with good kill power. That's not that cannot happen.
It can't happen, but it certainly has. Two teams vying for first place. It's simply a best of 5 that separates one team from first and another from second. We'll get into it now. Game 1 on its way. Still the gizmo activated on Sept.
Really strong start to this game for Ma and Fauzi so far. Racking up Quirky to 70. A little bit of a counter hit. I want to see Mohawk go a lot more aggressive off these situations when they have them over in the corner. You have a Morty who's like really good at protection. He can rewind you if you're ever about to die. He has grenades, things like that to protect you. Dirt as well. Like situations like this are pretty hard to get in because you have too many things to get around almost to find your way in. But I feel like the advantage is just not getting pushed hard enough on the side of Quirky and Mohawk. Right now, they've evened up the damage in this game so far, though. Force Fauzi off to the side. Mohawk throwing a shield to protect his teammate as well. Although he is stuck down there. Quirky does manage to make it back on stage. Explosive card gets avoided. And the stake shot across the stage. Quirky finds the first one.
Something that is so hard to avoid. Sarah gonna come through as well to give a second. Something that is so hard to avoid because if you're not paying attention to it, I mean, it literally just comes out of nowhere. It's so awkward. Trying to focus his teammate there. Snake shot randomly comes in and is gonna catch you there. Do have very high percentages here. So the blue team can reverse this. Not gonna be able to if they get caught here. Is barely able to get off a ship. So is gonna stay alive, but eventually that stock gone. It's a 3-1 lead for the resetters.
It's a 3-1 lead for Quirky and Mohawk, despite them having been down 100% at the start of the game. They have just been hitting, they have just not been taking much damage. They actually racked up the kills in time. I think that's going to be the big trendsetter for this set is like, do you just let them live forever like you did the first set? I don't think they are. Forces out the rewind right away. Fauzi would have lost his stock there at 80, so that is a good use of that from Wa, but I mean, Quirky and Mohawk still, I mean, they just need to find one of them here. Dirt into upper. Mohawk catches the dodge with an I-80 upper. I mean, it's just like they just didn't let them live this time. Every time you got them in a spot where they could kill them, they actually killed them, and I think that's the difference maker.
Okay, so Quirky and Mohawk, you know, they get reset, and it's very evident that they said, yeah, it's time to lock in. It's time to lock in. A much different game 1 of this set. Looked incredibly confident. I think you definitely have some merit. Mirror the fact that, you know, possibly seeing this gizmo really did shake this team up. Weren't quite sure what to make of it, especially if you look at them take 20 seconds in Discord to talk about, okay, here's the game plan, and then to see something completely different. Definitely could have been the shakeup, but looked very good in game 1 here to start the reset.
Want to make a note of it right now. We see Mohawk playing anti-artillery, throwing out those stairs center stage on repeat. Steven Stair comes to the property. If it hits a projectile, it will reflect it. Reflected a couple of the lesser shots from Morty. Reflected an arrow from Gizmo as well. And it's just like a good way of like we said, like they play the wait out the resource game and then they go aggressive. It's just a great way of stalling it out, so you don't have to burn your shield on that necessarily. You can keep your shield for more versatility later. And Quirky just kind of demolishing Wa in the 1v1.
That focus, it makes me feel like the focus slowly starting to go. You really have to be able to pay attention to everything happening on stage. So much utility that this team's going to provide, and just unfortunately not quite able to spot it. And that is going to cost them a very early stock. A second one to come through as well. Mohawk and Quirky not playing any games any longer. Not willing to go down, especially coming out of winners.
I need to make a note of it here. I think Moi is playing a little shaky. I don't know. I don't know if it's the pressure of the set getting to him or what. I have seen him miss in the past 3 games. I've seen him miss like 7 dirt up airs. That confirm on Morty is so important to the character, and if you're missing that, you are missing on so much damage. It should be guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. It almost feels true with how consistent it can be to hit. So definite point made there, Mir. They are going to trade themselves 2 back and low percentages. So a chance to kind of work this one back, but not quite where they would want to be, of course, if you are the blue team, and slowly racking it more off these projectiles as well. Trying to get back into this one, recognizing they've got to get a little bit risky. Unfortunately, nothing going to land just yet. They do find a dirt, but again, no ability to convert. Honestly, that one a lot farther away, though. So Not really, no harm, no foul onto that one at the very least. Very high percentage, and the red team just fully going all out. They've got a stock to give. They know it. Brawling as they will on ledge. Not able to find this just yet, though. Nair not going to connect either. Rewind to try to keep this Morty alive, and still both blue team members standing. But not any longer. The up air going to be found.
Dirt into up air. Confirm with the game. Confirm with the game. Quirky's hitting them. Why isn't? It's very important to note that that's, I mean, that's just straight up, man. It just can't be missed. You just can't be missing those.
Get a little
I believe that's 2-0 on the second set.
Yeah, it's 2-0 for the red squad. We get a little pause here. I like this from Juan Fozzy. A chance to just think about things, you know? Here's a question, Mir.
What's the question?
If you're Fauzi, do you turn back to the Steven?
I could see it. I could see it. I could see it. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but if it is, I want to make fun of him real quick. I saw Moa type W, not Moa. I saw Quirky type W in chat. I don't know if he miscounted the games. The set's not over, buddy. The set's not over. It's only we are seeing a character swap though on the side of Moa. We're going to see the Wonder Woman. That's who he's been traditionally playing the most for most of the launch. On the side of on the other side, I'm not sure if we're still going to be seeing the Gizmo.
Yeah, that'd be what the second lock is. I will say, out of the 8 teams qualifying in that first qualifier, 4 of them do have Wonder Womans on their squad. So, incredibly valuable character to have on your team. But again, we're going back into, is it too late to try to make this swap? You know what I mean?
I don't think it's necessarily too late. Like, Moa is very, like I said, very good on a lot of characters and is equally good across all of them. Switching to another character, maybe to see how it works. Not necessarily the worst idea in the world. Wonder Woman has a very, very strong advantage game if she gets things going, much less so than Morty. Morty is all about kind of just like stray hits, like really impossible to get on. Wonder Woman's more like she's going to jump on you and she's going to blow you up. So it's a stylistic change for sure, which might be enough to throw off the other team. Also, I can confirm that Quirky did miscount the game count and thought he won, but he's not done yet.
Love to see it. I gotta say though, I think the combo game is really difficult for Wonder Woman if she can't get in. I think against Morty is really difficult. He's so fast, it's hard to get him into the combo. And then on top of that, you're playing against Steven, who also is normally very difficult, especially if they run Bubble Crush. It's very easy to break armor simply with the Nair. So a lot of options almost negated if you're the Wonder Woman, which makes me nervous. And then we go back to jumping on a character with no practice in a situation now as well where it's one game to lose. It's 2-0.
It's risky for sure, but at this point, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to take, bad risk to take. They've lost the last 4 games straight, and at some point, well, not the last 4 games. They lost the last 2 games straight. Sorry, and at some point, it's like they got back into the set to begin with, off of the back of them making a big change.
It's true.
So making another big change isn't necessarily a bad thing. At the very least, it'll disrupt your opponent's game plan and force them to change what they're doing. And like, I think Moa is good enough at Wonder Woman where I think you can just get pulled out and still do it just as well. I don't think it needs like the big warm up a lot of other characters might.
Well, I also think at this point, you mentioned they lost the last 2. That first one as well in very convincing fashion. I don't think running the same matchup back is going to garner them a win anyway. So eventually you got to do something, right? You got to change the game plan somehow or some way. And if you can't do so in terms of the comp on stage, do so in what composition you are bringing to the stage. So I don't hate it. It's just a matter of how well do they play it. And I guess we'll see. We'll jump back into it. This could be it. Quirky and Mohawk, they got reset. They said no more funny business. We beat you 3-1 in Winners Final for a reason. We're here to beat you again in Grands. They're looking to finish this one off.
They're looking to finish off with a 3-0 at that. Losing the first set into a convincing set too. All that has to do is show adaptation. And I mean, I'm curious to see how they're going to start this game off. Wonder Woman has a lot less resources to burn through at the start than a character like Morty does. So the start of game strat from Mohawk and Quirky that they always do, where they kind of just shut up shop. They do go for it again, but here we just see Moa barrel right into it with the landing there from Wonder Woman.
They're hard. You're looking to lock this in. Playing like glue right now, really focused on going up the top. And those are great options for this team specifically. Nair in early. It's a matter of if they're able to convert. I'm really interested to see if Moa can start the combo, especially against these two slippery players on the other team.
It's going pretty even so far in terms of damage. Fauzi got a big opening quirky to start off the game. Moa won his 1v1 against Mohawk, but then they just traded the damage right back. The big thing is here is Wonder Woman straight hits are a lot more likely to randomly kill than a lot of these other characters on screen right now. Sarah off the edge, might kill. Quirky just falls to his death, doesn't have enough resources to manage a touch. And I mean, as long as there's a distraction happening on the left side of the stage, he can go as hard as he wants on Quirky on the respawn as well. Dash attack catches Mohawk, and this is a pretty big lead for blue team. Forces Quirky off once again. Last stand doing so much extra damage. Just constant amounts of weaken getting applied to both people on red. Moa just winning the 1v2 on the right.
Early 2 stocks picked up. Still not too dangerous just yet if you are this red team, but obviously having to adapt to what is this new team composition put in front of them. Shield options out early, not lasting nearly as long anymore on this patch, so dealt with quickly. And both stocks gonna get traded back the other direction. Very high percent right now. If you are the Morty Quirky, gotta try to stay alive in this one. Teammate is gonna take the brunt of it on ledge, so able to do so, no trouble.
I mean, this is just a pretty big lead so far. Come on, Fauzi. Fauzi just has to play his life right now. You kind of just let Moa play as aggressive as he wants. The armor up is going to be really scary for Mohawk and Quirky, both off stage. They have to stall as much as possible. Nair from Wonder Woman going to get a break on the shield, killed the watermelon. And I mean, while Mohawk's able just to stall up there in the blast zone for a little while, Quirky's just slowly getting burnt out on resources, forced to use out basically all of his specials. He's starting to get a little bit low on dodge meter. UFO comes out and they're going to be able to jump off and recover, but they just can't get past the sledge trap. Just over and over again, Fauzi and Moa just swatting them back. Quirky finally tries to go for something aggressive, and then he just gets caught for it. And then Fauzi catching the jump as well onto Mohawk, and that's a pretty clean game with the comp swap.
I want all the world to be safe.
That is a pretty clean game. Early on, the Wonder Woman works out for this team. Yet again, a big swap is what does it for them. Fauzi goes back home as well onto the Steven, and it works out. But it's only worked out for one game. Still plenty of series to go. If they want to walk this one back, they need to reverse sweep it. They need to take 3 straight. That's just the first step of the race.
All right. I'm going to be sweeping the good old quote-unquote random, going to Sky Flat in the next game. So the house strat at the start, right? With them setting up the little cubby over on the right and making resources. They were ready for it this time. Okay, I was about to say, Moa started the game by just running at them and trying not to let them set it up this time. This time they stuffed him out, got an immediate 40 damage on him. They do lose the counter hit battle right after, which means they're both going to be stuck in this corner a little bit. But I mean, as long as they're racking up damage, it doesn't really matter. Dirt into up air, double weaken applied on both the players on blue team. Quirky only at 18%. It's looking like a very strong start for red.
Certainly is. Go up early, is able to find their way back to stage. Mohawk, that is. So not too rough just yet. Kind of traded back out nicely as I say that. The stock of Mohawk gone. That kind of changes the tail on that one. Moa somehow dodging snakes there, is going to make it back. The auto tech as well for safety. Unfortunately, is going to lose their teammate here. So could be that lead getting lost if they're not careful. Nair going to come through. Is able to keep themselves cooking. Second Nair picked up as well, but walking straight into a nade. And that's trouble from Moa going to go down. That's a stock advantage now for the red squad.
Quirky finally losing his first there. Basically, even in terms of damage on both sides, despite the game having started in Mohawk and Quirky's favor. The Moa and Fauzi are bringing it back a little bit, but I mean, the death up the top at 80, that's where now it gets a little rough. Both the people on blue team are at risk of dying here over time. Quirky's the only one who really can't take that much damage here, and he didn't even play that slow. He was running in, he was doing his damage. Now that he's gotten a bit of space for himself, he's just like, I'm going to disgorge, I'm going to throw out some of these dash attacks and projectiles, going to make sure they can't get anything big going on me. Dirt into up air. Moa is forced off stage. One more hit will lead to the end of the game, but they do find the kill on Mohawk. But how are they going to make this happen? Moa has no dodge meter. He's stuck in burnout off stage. There's a potential chance for Mohawk to go for an edge guard, but instead they just play it slow. I mean, to finally get the up air to catch the jump right now. They're going to force a lot of damage with this landing there. Armor for Wonder Woman is out, but the nades from across the stage. Quirky secures the kill onto Moa and the tournament for himself and Mohawk.
That is the LCQ secured. Corky and Mohawk not only going to the 3K tomorrow, but going as the 1 seed out of at least this tournament. They'll join the 32 tomorrow, competing, of course, for that $3,000. Shout out Hot Pockets for that. Fantastic work. You love to see it. Though everyone you saw on broadcast here tonight, chat, is going into tomorrow. We've got the top 8 qualifying through, and that leads into what was our top 8 from last week, and of course the 16 invited teams making up that 32 team bracket. So if your favorite, you didn't see them win here, you didn't see them winning grants, no worries. They're still going to be in bracket tomorrow.
Yep. And for tomorrow, we got a lot of big names that are going to be joining the bracket. I'm not going to be going over all the ones that qualified today because you guys were watching the stream. You guys watched the tournament. You know who's made it in. But tomorrow, we're going to be seeing a lot of names like Jungle FPZ, MV Shiro Poro. We're going to see Girthquake, Falsey, Swerve and Wavy, and then also some other names people might be interested in. We're going to be seeing Sandstorm teaming with Cosmos tomorrow. People are going to be... Sandstorm hasn't entered a tournament in a good while for the game. This is the first tournament in a couple months I know that he's entered. We're going to be seeing him in the tournament tomorrow. We're going to be seeing other names from other games. K7 and Legendary Pred are going to be there tomorrow. J Mafia and Zenkai. TK is going to be in the tournament. Psyche is going to be in the tournament. Chenzi is going to be in the tournament. People be excited. Tomorrow we got a lot of the big names for the scene, all around, and I'm really excited to see how bracket shakes up tomorrow. A lot of names that haven't entered in a while, are going to be entering for the first time. A lot of names for people who've been entering the entire time, who have either qualified or just been entering tournaments regardless. And I think tomorrow is probably going to be the most stacked doubles tournament we've had for the game in months in terms of talent at the top. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a banger. Shout out to Frost Esports for putting it on. Of course, Hot Pockets for the sponsor and bringing in that prize pool. 16 qualified teams, 8 invites, and of course 8 from the LCQ. Face off tomorrow. Bracket going to start a little earlier than stream, but the action should get picked up around 4:30 right here, twitch.tv, Frost Esports Rocket League. Make sure you're there. Make sure you check out the action, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, stay well, and we'll see you for the 3K.
Yep.
All I wanna do is to put my arms around you and watch these moments fall back into place. All I wanna do is to make you stop and love me. How can I be blue when you catch me in these feelings like okay. I love you, I do need you, I do, I do need you. I love you, I do need you. I do need you. I love you, I do need you, I do, I do need you. I love you, I do need you. I do need you. All I wanna do is to put my arms around you and watch these moments fall back into place. All I wanna do is to make you stop and love me. How can I be blue when you catch me in these feelings like okay. I love you, I do, I need you, I do, I love you, I do, I need you. I love you, I do, I need you. I love you, I do, need you. I love you, I do, need you, I do, I love you, I do, need you. I love you, I do, need you. I love you, I do, need you.